On the night of January 14th, 1966, Lagos was buzzing. Beneath the laughter, the music, and the clinking of wine glass at a high society military party in Ikoyi, darkness was plotting its final act. At the center of it all stood a man, Brigadier Zakariya Maimalari, Nigeria's most powerful military figure from the north, a celebrated officer, a newlywed, and tragically, the most marked man in the country. Welcome to Everything Sociology 24. My name is Ode Godwin Agbaka, and this is a channel where we explore the untold stories of power, society, and the people who shape them. Today we explore the chilling betrayal and brutal assassination of a man once considered the pride of the Nigerian military, Zakariya Abubakar Hassan Maimalari. Zakariya was born on January 17, 1930 in Maimalari village in what is now Yobe State, Nigeria. He came from a royal lineage. Nobility flowed in his vein, but it was discipline and ambition that defined his destiny. At age 4 years old, he started school at Nguru Elementary, later moving to Borno Middle School in Maiduguri, and ultimately to the elite Barewa College, Zaria, an institution that trained much of Nigeria's political and military elite. It was there that the seed was planted. Under the guidance of a British principal, Maimalari developed a fascination with military life. After graduation, he enlisted with his childhood friend, Lawan Umar, into the Royal West African Frontier Force on March 10, 1950. The two friends went on a whirlwind training tour from Teshi in Ghana to Eton Hall in the UK and finally to the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. There, Zakariya became one of the first Africans and the very first regular Nigerian combatant to graduate as an officer. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant in February 1953. While Lawan Umar, his childhood friend, would eventually leave the army, Zakariya continued to climb. His rise was meteoric. He trained across England and Pakistan, gathering accolades and respect. He commanded battalions, mentored future generals, and held elite credentials from Quetta and London Royal College of Defence Studies. By 1963, he was a brigadier and the commander of the 2nd Brigade in Lagos. He was the embodiment of a modern Nigerian officer. He was disciplined, educated, and obviously charismatic. But also, in the eyes of some, he became a symbol of something else: northern military dominance. By 1965, Nigeria was boiling under the surface. Ethnic rivalries, political corruption, and the regional suspicions fettered. The military, meant to be neutral, mirrored the divisions of the nation. Within its ranks, whispers grew louder, rumors of rebellion, of a cleansing. Zakariya, despite his professional credentials, was not immune to the politics. His swift rise made him a lightning rod for resentment, especially among some southern officers. To them, he represented a system tilted by favoritism and ethnic imbalance. Still, Maimalari remained focused. In January 1966, he was planning his future, not as a soldier, but as a husband. He had just married a beautiful young bride from Kano. Their love was fresh, their joy untainted. His wedding reception was set for the evening of January 14th at his residence at 11 Thompson Avenue, Ikoyi. It was a lavish affair. Military officers from across Lagos were invited, and the guest of honor, none other than General Aguiyi Ironsi, the most senior officer in the army. There was Colonel Kor Mohammed, Colonel Yakubu Gowon, and dozens of captains, majors, ADCs, and high-profile politicians. Everyone who mattered was there. Orchestral music filled the compound, wine poured freely, The bride, glowing, was introduced to the crowd. As guests toasted the newlyweds, few noticed the gold glint in the eyes of one of the hosts, Captain Emmanuel Ifeajuna, Maimalari's ADC. Ifeajuna had personally sent out the invitations, he had organized the logistics, he had smiled, danced, and raised glasses with the man he would betray. Hours after the party, as the city slept, a small group of officers gathered at Ifeajuna's house in Apapa. Amongst them, Major Christian Anuforo, Captain Donatus Okafor, Lieutenant Oyewole, and others. They weren't just plotting a coup, they were scripting a purge, and Maimalari's name was at the top of the list. At 2 a.m., a phone call pierced the quiet of Maimalari's home. It was Elizabeth Gowon, wife of Colonel Gowon. Her voice trembled. Her husband had just been arrested by rebel soldiers. As Maimalari processed the warning, gunshots erupted at his gate. One of his guards had refused to let soldiers in. They killed him. With a soldier's instinct, Maimalari sprang into action. He hid his bride in the servants' quarters, sprinted through the house, and scaled the back fence into the dark night, barefoot and clad only in pajamas. Donatus Okafor and his men were furious. The most powerful field commander in Lagos had slipped through their fingers. If he reached the barracks, he could rally loyal troops and crush the coup. Frantically, they scoured Thompson Avenue, Glover Road, Bordelon, and anywhere he might be, but Maimalari was elusive, darting through shadows, hiding in bushes, and praying for a friendly face. Then headlights. A familiar car approached. It was Ifeajuna, his ADC. Relieved, Maimalari waved it down. "Ima," he exclaimed. "Thank God, some of your boys have gone mad. Let's get to the barracks." He froze. Inside the car sat Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, another target of the coup. Realization hit too late. Ifeajuna looked at him in the eyes. "Say your last prayer." 3 bullets rang out. Then came 5 more, and subsequently, Zakariya Maimalari, the shining star of the Nigerian army, the boy from Yobe who became a Sandhurst legend, the newlywed, the mentor, the commander, was dead, murdered by the man he trusted with his life. The January 1966 coup would go down in history as Nigeria's first and one of its bloodiest. It shattered illusions of unity and set in motion a cycle of violence that would culminate in civil war. To many northerners, the assassination of Maimalari, along with other top northern figures, wasn't just a military operation, it was a betrayal, a deliberate ethnic purge disguised as revolution. To this day, questions remain. Was it personal? Was it political? Or was it simply the madness of young men with guns, drunk on ideology? Or maybe even vengeance? Maimalari Barrack in Maiduguri stands in his honor, but his story has been reduced to footnotes, lost in the dust of time. Until now, Brigadier Zakariya Maimalari wasn't just a victim of a coup. He was a man, brilliant, brave, flawed, and ultimately betrayed by the very hands that saluted him. His life reminds us that in the corridors of power, loyalty is fragile and ambition is often cloaked in smiles. If you found the story powerful, kindly subscribe to Everything Sociology 24 and share this video. History isn't just about dates and names, it's people, and their stories still shape our world. Stay curious and remember to stay human.